Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We thank you for joining us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our social media platforms displayed on your screen for updates. Moved by disturbing video images of 4 teenage children belonging to the same family he saw in the last video released by the attackers of the AK-9 train, Sheikh Dr. Ahmad Gumi, for the first time since the abduction of the innocent passengers of that train over 4 months ago, has reached out to the abductors and pleaded with them to consider the release of the poor children and their innocent parents. Consequently, the abductors have released 7 hostages. A statement from media consultant to Sheikh Gumi, Tukur Mamu, says efforts from Sheikh Gumi and with the support of a serving senator from the north who does not have any relationship with the hostages and who chose to remain anonymous has compelled the abductors to release them due to life-threatening, deteriorating health challenges recently. Also released is a 60-year-old woman, one Hajia Aisha Hassan, who was said to have been released due to life-threatening health challenges.
I would like to sincerely appreciate Tukumar who has been an uncle throughout this ordeal with all the people that have been arrested, including myself. And I sincerely also want to appreciate Sheikh Gumi, who personally came here to receive myself and the family.
This is the right thing, but it cost. So long as we are going to save lives, we are going to save these children, the trauma of these children, and we want to get these children to grow up. So whatever it takes to bring out these children, to me there's no boundary. First done to bring them out. Whatever it is.
Kaduna State government has described as false messages circulating on social media platforms advising people traveling from Kaduna to Zaria to halt their journey, as unspecified number of bandits were sighted along Dumbi village in Zaria local government and Jaji in Igabi local government area. Government describes the message not only as misleading, but a tissue of lies concocted to scare travelers. A statement by the State Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruan, urged travelers to disregard the report as it is confirmed to be fake news, adding that government will continue to support security personnel in securing flash points. Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State has expressed formal appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for what he called the unprecedented federal presence across the state. The governor is assuring the president that Plateau people will pay back by ensuring that the governing APC retains power for the sustenance of his worthy legacies. State House correspondent Adamu Sabo has details. Subsequently, the inauguration of the new leadership of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, and the Council of Registered Builders in Nigeria could bring new techniques needed to reduce to the barest minimum the rate of building collapse in Nigeria. This is the thought of many following the formal inauguration of the members of the 2 councils by the Minister of Works and Housing in Abuja. Abdullahi Muhammad reports.
It could be human error or the penchant for cutting corners, and the outcome ugly. The ushering of new sets of professionals. On the driving seat are the councils that regulates the practice of engineering and building, analysts say could beam a ray of hope. This is even more promising as the Minister of Works and Housing threw them a challenge.
Your profession at many levels have been played and will continue to play very significant roles. And nothing will help Nigeria more than a display of professionalism by those who lead, who define, who recruit, who regulate, who certify membership of the engineering profession.
And for the members, it's a new beginning with a new approach.
We'll make sure that the engineering activities, especially the infrastructural development, is done with all necessary engineering technicalities up to date.
We are coming here with a lot of experiences and dedication because, as it rightly said, we're feeling about being ethical and being very honest.
It is both a public and government expectation that practitioners maintain continued competency and that the Council monitors professional development activities of practitioners.
Boosting the confidence of the engineers is the ongoing Korean Engineering Assembly, which charges its members on the domestication and development of codes, standards, and regulations as panacea for infrastructure failure in Nigeria. In Abuja, Abdullahi Muhammad, NT News.
The federal government says it is determined to reposition the Nigeria Immigration Service for better service delivery to Nigerians. Osinachi Abraham reports that Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola stated this at the rollout of enhanced e-passport and inauguration of e-passport production center in Port Harcourt, South Nigeria.
The minister, who was accompanied by representatives of heads of security agencies and top immigration officers, says the introduction of the e-passport has made the application process easier, as Nigerians can now apply from the comfort of their homes with their national identification number, name, and also pay the fees required without physical contact.
And the passport we have today, in terms of security, is of the highest standard. No nation on this earth has a more secured passport than what Nigeria has.
We are strongly committed to the reforms on online application and payment process to ensure that we eliminate all forms of unnecessary meddlesome nets which often promote some corrupt practices.
Rivers State Deputy Governor Ipalibo Harry assured the service of an enabling environment to carry out their lawful duty.
I'm happy and delighted to find that we are here that applicants for passports no longer need the services of third parties to obtain their passports. That's a great delight for us. It's a great encouragement for our people.
The new e-passport process will, among other things, help fish out criminal-minded officers and reduce sharp practices to the barest minimum. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Abraham, NTA News.
5 amended regulatory instruments of the Nigerian Communications Commission are undergoing review for industry players to make contributions for viable service delivery. The exercise is to align NCC's operations with recent developments in the telecommunications industry globally. Chimdima Ndubisi has details.
NCC, the watchdog of the nation's telecommunications industry, focusing closely on strict compliance of standards and guidelines by operators. Dynamism of the telecommunication industry with the deployment of 5G network expand the task of the Commission. Going by expectations of investment growth and influx of new devices, the review of these 5 regulatory instruments type approval, short code operations, technical specifications for deployment of communication infrastructure, advertisements and promotions, as well as consumer code of practices becomes necessary to give the user satisfaction and ensure environmental safety.
5 years will be how much time we should allow any regulatory instrument, to be used. We normally make our rules in a manner that is consultative.
In the draft type approval regulation, there is now provision for experimental license to import telecommunication devices for test run before seeking final approval for full importation.
Added a new clause on reasons whereby the company can revoke a license to a device. The main three ones are the threat to national security, if there's a defect, and if it was approved through fraud. If, let's say, a manufacturer wants to hire a new band, the previous device cannot serve as an approval, so we don't have to revoke the approval. Now, what we have done is to solely make it the responsibility of the Commission to allocate shortcuts, manage shortcuts, and administer shortcuts.
Some industry operators registered reservations on parts of amended sections which NCC promised to reconsider. In Abuja, Chimdema Idibisi, NTA News.
Educationists must not be carried away by their knowledge, but remain constantly as learners and be self-assessing to make progress towards meeting goals and objectives to have the desired impact on the society. This is the focus of the 20th inaugural lecture of the National Open University of Nigeria on assessment for the leaning to learn and lifelong learning societies. The lecturer believes that a lifelong learner must develop the ability and willingness to be self-critical, self-correcting, flexible in thinking, open to new ideas, decisions, skills, and behavior.
Assessment should be able to induce the use of modern technologies for the collection of data in order to draw relevant conclusions and judgments that are helpful to individual learners, educational institutions, and the educational system as a whole.
Every day we have to learn. The basis of existence is to relearn. And then some of those things that you have learned, you have to change them because of new facts, because of new situations.
Assessments are needed not only to confirm and verify what learners have learned, but helps the learners to understand the next steps ahead in learning and in life. Our documented research findings on patient satisfaction with services provided under the National Health Insurance Authority has been presented to critical key players in the health sector. Elizabeth Omori reports that the research was carried out by the Nigerian Medical Association and the Center for International Private Enterprise to identify challenges of HMOs, enrollees, and other key players.
The signing of the National Health Insurance Authority Act by President Muhammadu Buhari is said to have informed the research carried out in Aba, Onitsha, Lagos, and Kano, with the aid of validated tools involving 1,043 respondents. This aims at not only determining accountability, but make healthcare services available to the teeming Nigerian populace. The Minister of State, Health, Dokuman Kama Joseph Nkama, who received the document, stressed the need for monitoring and evaluation of the scheme for improved service delivery.
This is a commendable effort as it provides an opportunity for feedback and engagement of stakeholders, which will assist decision makers on national health insurance policy in Nigeria.
Distance of health facilities, waiting time, quality of service, and delay in payment are some of the challenges identified by the researchers.
We urge all to see this report not as a commendation or condemnation, but a tool for engagement and reform to move from the present situation to the desired direction and destination.
The research is bringing out the gap which the president of Psychiatric Association of Nigeria pointed out, and that's the right thing to do, evidence-based. Now we know that mental health is not included, it should be included.
To attain universal health coverage, they advocate full utilization of benefits available within the social insurance space. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
I told you earlier, Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State expressed formal appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for what he called the unprecedented federal presence across the state. We now have Adamu Sambo's report. Take a look.
Governor Simon Lalong, who is also the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and Director General of the Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Organization, is here to say thank you to President Muhammadu Buhari. He enumerated 7 major recent additions to the federal presence in Plateau made possible by the president.
We just got approval making University of Jos as a cancer center. I saw about 3-point-something billion approved and a special center for cancer. So it's not a small achievement. The president approved the establishment of an orthopedic hospital, the only one in the North Central, and he approved Plateau State. He also approved the establishment of a federal medical center in Wase. Another one is the Federal Polytechnic, starting this year. Mr. President also approved the conversion of our College of Education, Pansin, to a Federal University of Education, and immediately approved the establishment of another Federal College of Education. We were just celebrating that one. When we understand that Mr. President has also approved the establishment of the Nigerian Law School, the Zonal Law School for North Central, and is established in Jos.
Governor Lalong said a high-powered delegation from Plateau State is soon to be in Abuja to formally show gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari for his magnanimous disposition to the home of peace and tourism.
The fact that the president has done these things in Plateau State, the best thing you can do to the president is to follow his direction on whoever will take over from him. That is one way of paying him back for what he has done. Today, the confidence is placed highly on the people of Plateau State by the appointment of the man that is going to spearhead the campaigns. So if we lose that election, it means we don't have confidence in President Muhammadu Buhari.
The governor used the forum to react to media reports that Khan demands that he rejects his recent appointment as Director General of the APC Presidential Campaign Organization because of the Muslim ticket being fielded by the party.
I don't even know where they are. I hold a papal knight. And as a Catholic, everything we do, we send the advice to the Pope. The Pope has not told me that what I'm doing is bad. But generally, as a governor of a state, I'm not responsible to only my faith. When it comes to politics, it's a matter of choice, matter of interest. All we are talking about is good leadership, which can come from any religion. I am a member of the APC. I will say a founding member of the APC. I don't do anti-party activities. If at any time, some people who wanted to be VT lost out and they are using religion, they should not use me to help them.
Governor Lalong was emphatic that the people of Plateau will stand to be counted in the task of protecting and sustaining President Buhari's legacies by voting massively for the APC in the forthcoming elections. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide. Let's go back to Lagos now, where Hingino is standing by. Hello, Hingino.
Hello, Lydia, and welcome to Lagos. In a matter of months, Ibejuleki local government area of Lagos State will be on the map as another industrial hub, hosting the nation's first deep-sea port, a private refinery and fertilizer plant, among others. Ahead of full commercial operations by these economic entities, what is the traffic situation along the corridor? Adeni Itayo is here to fill us in.
It is a typical day along Lekki Epe Expressway with horn blaring, traffic dragging, and tempers flaring. The gridlock knots and unknots depending on the time of the day and on how much people like Kolawole Tajudeen, a traffic warden, can put into it.
It will take you nothing less than 1 hour or 2 hours to get to this spot. The distance of not even up to a kilometer.
Rosemary is frustrated with the traffic and has to make some hard choices in order to cope.
It's terrible.
I had to change my children's school 3 times because of this traffic.
Ezekiah Isaac is happy that Awuyaya, one of the trouble spots along the axis, is now receiving attention. But despite this intervention and others on the expressway, he is worried about what will become of traffic in the area when the likes of Lekki Deep Sea Port begins full commercial operations.
When all the container starts, all the tanker starts, trooping out, it's going to look more clumsy.
While Dangote Refinery is working hard to begin operation before the year ends, September 2022 is already projected for full commercial activities at the Lekki Deep Sea Port.
I'm aware, as a town planner, that the government has plans to make alternative roads available.
It's going to be a dualized road. You see, we are making our own a four-lane road through on both sides.
Until that happens, residents and commuters around Lekki Epe Expressway may have more price of development to pay. In Lagos, Adini Itewo, NTA News.
Determined to improve their duties and live up to expectations, the European Union Agents for Citizens-Driven Transformation Act has trained over 50 civil society organization members in Lagos. Annie Daniels reports that it is also geared towards identifying and weeding out the unregistered ones operating in the country.
In this hall are civil society organization members from Southwest, whose contributory roles have been instrumental to the development of the society.
We are mainly focused on promoting gender equity and gender rights, and also in addressing the challenges of sexual and gender-based violence. The way we work now, there has been a lot of awareness at the community level.
In spite of these laudable feats achieved, some people and organizations still question their existence and transparency, translating to their inability to get grants and loans due them.
When I looked at the requirements, which was you need to have audited financial report, and I didn't have it. So what I did was to forward it to another organization that I knew that was qualified, and they got the grant.
This is why the European Union Agents for Citizens-Driven Transformation Act deemed it fit to train CSOs in Lagos on civil society regulatory frameworks and compliance.
Minimally, you have to have a registration certificate with the Corporate Affairs Commission. It brings in disclosure, and the ability to track your activities.
The Agents for Citizen-Driven Transformation is also working with government agencies to see how we can reduce the number of regulations that CSOs need to adhere to.
It is expected that the knowledge acquired from this training will spur the CSOs here and those elsewhere to live out their roles as the change agents they are established to be. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for a break. The news will continue after that in Maiduguri.
The Gulf Federation announces its first Nigeria Gulf Federation Summit. This summit will discuss salient topical issues that relate to the development and upliftment of Gulf in Nigeria. Chairman General IBM Haruna, Special Guest of Honor, Honorable Minister of Sports, Mr. Sunday Dare, Convener Otumba Olusegun Rushewe, OON, President Nigeria Gulf Federation. Date 31st August to 2nd September 2022. Venue Ladikwali Hall, Sheraton Hotel and Towers, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. prompt. This event is supported by Polaris Bank, Nigerian Television Authority NTA, Africa Independent Television AIT, Gulf Garden, Anchor Insurance and Royal Ceramics. Otumba Olusegun Rushewe, OON, President Nigeria Gulf Federation, announcer.
Now, what would make someone set out on a journey and not get to his or her destination? Now, imagine the victim who cannot reach out to these responders, who doesn't even have the phone to reach out. Hello, thank you very much for joining us on platform. I'm Ruth Agwe.
And the girl, especially if the girl is a minor, she's not yet 18 years. If she gets pregnant, realize that such girl is sent out of school and the boy is left in school.
Just to pick the call.
So how much sensitization is there, Paris?
I don't agree. A lot of people are just deaf.
Do you run a breast or cervical cancer service? Are you a private or public laboratory, clinic or hospital that offer any of breast imaging, cervical cancer screening, HPV vaccination, or other breast or cervical cancer services? Is your service a primary, secondary, or tertiary center located in any part of Nigeria, no matter how remotely located it is? If yes to any of these questions, then subscribe to the OCI Foundation's CERVICAL app and become accessible and visible to millions of Nigerians. It is all for free. To subscribe, just type the CERVICAL application form on Google or go to the OCI Foundation's page on www.ocifoundation.org and search for CERVICAL application form. Complete the form and submit. And let millions of Nigerians patronize you, all for free. Become part of the OCI Foundation's quest to tackle breast and cervical cancers in Nigeria. And join us as we rise by lifting others.
Thanks for staying with us on Nationwide up to this moment, and this is Maiduguri Network Center. After investing significantly on agricultural renewal programs to support the post-insurgency recovery effort, Borno State Governor Professor Babagana Umar Zulum has expressed satisfaction with the increased level of farming activities this year. The governor made this known during an on-the-spot assessment of some farmlands along Maiduguri-Mafa route, where he interacted with farmers on their fields. Mohammed Guni will now bring us the rest of the story.
The present administration has always emphasized the need to resuscitate agricultural activities hampered by the 12 years of insurgency to ensure food security, as continued dependence on food aids from donor partners is not tenable. Towards this end, various policy measures were put in place to achieve that, including agro-rangers to protect farmers in their farmlands, in addition to farm inputs and implements. Governor Zulum's on-the-spot assessment visit to farmlands extended over 60 kilometers shows that farmlands not cultivated for about 8 years have been tilled this year, where the governor also interacted with the farmers who said they have been farming without any challenges. The governor, who expressed delight on the progress recorded in this year's farming season, said the state government will continue to support farmers with tractors and other farm implements.
We just received a letter from the National Security Advisor banning the usage of the urea as well as the nitrogenous phosphorus and potassium fertilizers. And it will not augur well for government of Borno State to procure it. But nonetheless, we are investing heavily on liquid fertilizers.
He noted improvement in the security situation in the state, which enable improved farming activities and assured to work with the security operatives to curb the security challenges such as kidnapping posed by some criminal elements along Muna axis and along Bama Road. Farmers who spoke to NT carry out their farming activities hitch-free without fear of security challenges. Governor Zulum's visit followed insinuations in some quarters that no farming activity has taken place this year due to security challenges. Professor Zulum, while addressing people of Muna community, also assured to resettle IDPs in Muna camp in their ancestral home as part of effort to check the security breach along the route. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Away from issues that have to do with agriculture now, Borno State government has initiated sustainable training programs for civil servants on enhancing productivity for effective service delivery. At a two-day workshop for ministerial secretaries and directors, Borno State Head of Service Simon Mulvey says everything possible is being done to rejuvenate the civil service to actualize its developmental objectives. Milka Ramalam has more details of the report.
The two-day workshop on administration and management skills development is targeting 200 participants of middle cadre administrative officers from various ministries. Borno State Head of Service Simon Mulgui said that it is in line with Governor Zulum's policy to train and retrain staff for more effective and efficient service delivery.
It is going to be continuous because of the commitment of His Excellency towards
ensuring that civil servants are well trained so that they will give their best for the service and for our people.
During their presentations, the resource persons identified the need for participants to understand public service rules and code of conduct, basic office procedures, and official abbreviation used in civil service, filing, minutes, and minutes taking.
You need to be honest, you need to be courteous, you need to be sincere, and well discharging your responsibility.
All government business has to be written.
They further urged the participants to know their rights as civil servants, as they are the pillars of any organization. Questions and answers were featured where participants appreciated the present administration of Governor Zulum for approving funds for the training, saying they have never had such training and motivation. In Maiduguri, Milka Malam, NTA News.
And those are the latest reports. At this time from Maiduguri, Lydia in Abuja will now continue from there.
Thank you, Abubakar. Nigeria is making preparations to host international conference on cashew aimed at identifying market and economic value of the commodity. Minister of Agriculture Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar said government is also looking at the possibility of banning export of raw cashew nuts not processed. He reiterated the ministry's commitment to collaborate with stakeholders in the cashew value chain towards enhancing the quality seedlings, increase production and income generation.
Usually it's something of this size coming to Nigeria. I think it's going to improve on so much. Not just cashew. Somebody might come in for the cashew conference and then maybe see an opportunity to invest in other sectors of the agriculture. So it's something that we're happy to collaborate with you, to work with you, and to see that it's a big success, so that tomorrow,
and of course, at this time, since the hosting of this program is very apt and timely, when you look at the direction that the president of the government of the world is set, wanting to diversify the economy from oil.
President of African Cashew Alliance, Otumba Babatola Fasheru, said they are committed in promoting a global competitive African cashew industry that will benefit the entire value chain from farmers to the consumers. About 5,000 Nigerians have benefited from National Mechanization Agro-Extension Service in Kano State. Musa Ali reports that the beneficiaries are those who were trained in modern poultry farming.
The Nurturing Birds for Wealth Empowerment Program is designed to empower women and youth in poultry management and entrepreneurship. Converged here are women and youth who have been trained in modern poultry farming aimed at providing direct jobs for the unemployed in the country. President of the National Agricultural Mechanization Cooperative of Nigeria said the scheme is part of the present administration's quest to lift 100 million Nigerians out of poverty.
Creating job opportunity for the alleviate the poverty for the masses in Nigeria. That's why we are supporting the mission of the transformation agenda of Mr. President, the diversification agenda from oil sector to non-oil, meaning farming, mechanization system farming. We come to our office and we can give the condition. If after the finish, we want to build the farm for you.
For the beneficiaries, it is a life-changing experience.
Thank you to NAMS and President Buhari for this opportunity that they have given to us. They to benefit us not just now, but for many more years to come.
Grateful to collect all this from federal government. Thank you very much for all this empowerment.
Each beneficiary will get a farm equipped with birds, feed, shelter and vaccine. Musa Aliyu, NTA News.
It's still nationwide, and Kemi is waiting in Ibadan to continue with more stories. Hello, Kemi.
Lydia, and welcome to Ibadan. The General Officer Commanding 81 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Umar Musa, says the Army is committed to training of soldiers and officers to enhance professionalism. He stated this in Abeokuta, Ogun State, at the 2022 Inter-Brigade Combat Proficiency Competition. Lekwagbode reports.
The GOC 81 Division Brigadier General Umar Musa represented says the 2022 Inter-Brigade Combat Proficiency Competition is part of the vision of the Chief of Army Staff for a professional army.
The need for enhanced and qualitative training in the Nigerian Army is more needed now than ever. This is as a result of the security challenges bedeviling our dear nation. It is therefore in this line with the Chief of Army Staff vision, which is to have a professional Nigerian army ready to accomplish a mission within a joint environment in defense of Nigeria.
The brigade commander, 35 Artillery Brigade, Alamala, Brigadier General Isa Mahadi Abdullahi, stressed the need for the participating squads to play by the rules and avoid cheating and shortcuts to attain the essence of the competition.
It will be a worthwhile for you. As such, I want to implore each and every one of us to adhere to the rules so that we have a hitch-free competition.
The training exercise covers weapon handling, physical fitness, map reading, combat swimming, drill competition, among others. Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Academic staff of the 3 Kwara State-owned colleges of education and colleges of Arabic and Islamic legal studies under the umbrella of Joint Academic Staff Union of Tertiary Institutions, JSUTI, have suspended their 2-month-old strike in principle. This follows signing of an agreement between the state government and the union on payment of new minimum wage and consequential adjustment of members of JSUTI. Kendi Omolosho reports.
The mood was that of jubilation as leaders of Kwara NLC, JSUTI, and other affiliated unions put pen to paper for the implementation of new minimum wage and consequential adjustment for academic staff of state-owned colleges of education. The signing of the agreement, which brings to an end the 2-month industrial action embarked upon by the union, according to the state head of service, Susan Oluwole, is a product of collective bargaining between the government and the unions.
You are supposed to take it. It's statutory. But it's not coming. What will you do? So let us thank our listening governor for what he has done for us, praying that it will get better by the day.
Chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress and other stakeholders described the new agreement as further attestation to Governor Abdurrahman Abdulrazak's commitment to workers' well-being. They expressed satisfaction with the content of the agreement and promised to reciprocate the gesture.
The procedure followed in declaring the strike will be followed immediately in suspending the strike. But in principle, the strike is suspended.
The union leaders also requested for the extension of similar gesture to the pensioners and got an assurance from the head of service that the senior citizens would be captured soon. Kendi Omolosho, NTA News.
That's it from Ibadan. We'll join Comfort in Enugu after the break.
Says that the Buhari-led administration has made remarkable progress,
like Lafia Transmission Station nearing completion.
Africa does not need charity, but partnerships that will promote the adequate investment
with the cooperation of all.
Sharing firsthand the experiences of reporters on the field as they bring to you weekly the beauty of Nigeria's diverse culture and the economic potentials therein. The Correspondents, development through the eye of the grassroots, showing every Monday at 1:30 p.m. on the network service of the NTA, with a repeat broadcast on NTA News 24 and NTA International. Join us.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let
Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Before we join Comfort at Enugu, let's take some more reports. The collaborative efforts between Niger State Government and Nigeria Academy of Science in stemming the increasing wave of gender-based violence has recorded significant achievement with increase in reported cases and development of standard operating procedures and training manual on the management of the menace. This was evident during the presentation of scorecard by critical stakeholders of the one-year initiative at the State-End Gender-Based Violence Summit and project closeout ceremony. Fatima Aliyu was there.
The collaborative efforts is therefore designed to create a pathway to addressing gender-based violence through sustained sensitization, provision of support for its survivors, which has continued to yield positive results. Within the year under review, out of 175 rape cases reported, 8 convictions were made, 77 prosecutions, while 60 cases are undergoing trials. President of the Nigerian Science Academy, Professor Ekana Braid, joined the meeting via Skype.
This process may be slow, but there is a significant improvement on what it used to be. A lot has to be done. We need to break gender norms, cultural barriers, and some traditional practices. Many segments of the communities are effectively mobilized to participate in fighting GBV issue in the state. Even before the GBV committee was set up, I've already started a move on the VAP Act law, that's violence against persons, as a private member bill, and alhamdulillah it has been assented to.
Panelists at the event, including legal practitioners and human rights activists, as well as representatives of traditional institutions, took turns to give an overview on how the successes recorded can be sustained. By the end of the one-year collaborative efforts in sight, Niger State Government says it is committed to consolidate on success recorded through training of stakeholders and creation of sexual assault referral centers in general hospitals across the 25 local government areas in the state. In Mina, Fatima Aliu, NTA News.
As countries face threats of insecurity, relevant agencies are expected to partner at all fronts to ensure mitigation of impact of these threats. Kenneth Nanim reports that the National Center for the Coordination of Early Warning and Response Mechanism came knocking at the doors of the National Orientation Agency for a collaborative action towards solving challenges of human security.
Established in June this year through Executive Order 12 under ECOWAS instruments governing the regional peace and security architecture of West Africa, The National Center for the Coordination of Early Warning and Response Mechanism has the mandate to deal with every challenge that threatens the well-being of the Nigerian people, with emphasis on human security. With issues of crimes, human rights abuses, public health, climate change and environmental challenges, terrorism and other security concerns on the increase, it becomes imperative that agencies come together and galvanize action at the peak of time.
Our agency's mandate is to improve the preparedness of strategic institutions, to work with civil society as well in promoting a culture of resilience and readiness in our public life, in our communities, and within our strategic institutions.
The National Orientation Agency is quick to grab these hands of fellowship extended to it, to play a complementary role ensuring that relevant authorities and the citizens respond to early warnings against emergencies.
Early warning sign is very apt in security matters. Even recently, the NSA sent us a letter requesting that our Chief Orientation and Mobilization Officer should begin to enlighten the public on the recruitment of child soldiers. That's a proactive attempt.
The partnership initiative is also expected to leverage the wide reach of the National Orientation Agency's desk officers across the 774 local government areas of the country to thrive. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Looks like Comfort is ready now, so we'll go over to Enugu to join Comfort for her report. Comfort?
Lydia, and welcome to Enugu Network Center. As agent of peace and social development, women have been charged to rise to the task of promoting the core values of love, tolerance, and peace in their homes and the society. Wife of the Enugu State Governor, Monica Ugwani, gave this charge while flagging off the 2022 Women August meeting in Enugu State. Susan Eze has the details.
Women, the home, peace and bridge builders. This theme for this year's August meeting captured the message of the wife of the governor as she emphasized the lack of peace and love in many homes and the nation at large, calling on women to rise and fill in the gaps as bridge builders. Noting that though this would be her last August meeting as wife of the governor, Mrs. Ugwani assured the women that she would continue to connect with the Enugu Women Monthly Prayer Networks and the annual August meetings.
To developmental issues concerning their homes, communities, and the state.
Talks on building sustainable homes, getting it right with the boy child, and prevention and management of cardiovascular diseases and diabetes were delivered by experts in these fields.
You work a balance between your work and your family. You want responsible fatherhood. If you want to raise responsible son, you must be a responsible father.
Some indigent women got financial support from the Ugo Touch of Life Foundation, a pet project of the governor's wife. Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And the Nigerian Union of Journalists, NUJ, Anambra State Council, has held its 2022 Health Week with the theme, A Healthy Journalist, an Asset to the Nation. The event offered free medical care and health talks to raise awareness on the need for proper health care. Ngozi Okeke Aru reports.
Open, Commissioner for Information, Sir Paul Nwosu, applauded the NUJ for the initiative.
For making sure that you consistently look after your health.
Today, we actually practicalize one of the slogan of Professor Charles Soludo, which is knowing your number. Knowing your number meaning checking your blood pressure and the sugar level. And also today we increased to also do the hepatitis test.
As you know, you
pause and take your blood pressure, take your blood sugar, and also try and have some rest.
Guest lecturers on the topics high blood pressure, causes and management, healthy lifestyle, and stress in journalism highlight that life expectancy in Nigeria currently stands at 55 years, according to World Bank statistics.
And I know that journalists are exposed to various stresses, and you cannot stop stress, but you can manage it.
If you continue one and more, you find out that every disease has stress related to it.
Health is wealth, and we are interested on the welfare of our members.
We journalists, we need to be healthy to execute our functions.
High point was free Medicare ranging from vital organ checks, screening, and free drugs provided for over 100 journalists and other guests.
Report from here is not so encouraging because there are so many people that were able to make a diagnosis of new onset hypertension and diabetes mellitus.
The event, holding after about a decade in the State Council, was well attended. In Oka, Ngozi Okekaru, NTA.
And that's our contribution from Enugu. Is back to Lydia in Abuja for more reports on Nationwide.
Many thanks, Comfort. In pursuance of its mandate on promoting human rights of Nigerians, the National Human Rights Commission is engaging law enforcement agencies on mainstreaming of human rights laws as prescribed in Police Act. Omenka Marachuku reports that the initiative is coming at the heels of unfolding security challenges in the country. His report.
The growing spate of insecurity in some parts of the country and its ardent consequences has become a source of concern to all. The National Human Rights Commission is also worried, especially the human rights abuses experienced by citizens. On this premise, the Commission is building a capacity of law enforcement agents on the mainstreaming of human rights laws in their operations.
This is not the only activity that is taking place. A lot, even the civil society organizations are also doing similar things. So together, we harness our efforts and hope that we work towards having police and law enforcement agents that respect human rights.
The police duties will always brush or interface with human rights of Nigeria. So today's training will actually empower them, strengthen their capacity to observe international best human rights norms and standards while carrying out their police duty operations.
We expect the participants to have a better understanding of their role as police officers and for them to ensure that the police is a primary agency set up by government to protect the human rights of citizens.
The workshop also seeks more improvement in law enforcement with regards to human rights. In Abuja, Umeka Marchuku, NTA News.
The National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party says it remains united and focused towards the bigger task of securing victory in 2023. The NWC gave the assurance while playing host to a delegation of the party from Delta State. Timothy Yusuf was there.
It's been a trying moment for the NWC of the PDP, seeking ways to settle internal party wranglings. First was post-presidential party primary crisis, then compounded by the unveiling of the Delta State Governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, as the party's vice presidential candidate. These partymen from Delta State, the Ijaw PDP mandate group, at the party's national headquarters to restate their confidence for the Atiku Okowa ticket and, of course, standing firm with the Senator Yochi Ayu-led NWC. Second leg of their visit is to tell the party that a valid governorship primary election was conducted in Delta State and that they stand with the result of that election.
We have come to tell the NWC of the party, don't be carried away by lies. Don't be carried away by fake news.
PDP's National Publicity Secretary Debo Ologunagba, on behalf of the NWC, assured of the party's fairness to resolving all concerns.
I want to assure you that this NWC, consistent with its mission, will continue to be fair to all members of the party and all processes that have been taking place has been in accordance with the constitution of our party.
PDP, he notes, will continue to be on the side of truth and the law at all times. Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
And now sports.
Nigeria continues.